unofficial Universal Orlando podcast is a member of the Mice Chat Podcast Network. MicePod.com. Now, discover the universe, one theme park at a time.
Greetings, Universal fans. It's time for the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, discovering more about the Universal Orlando Resort as well as Universal Studios Hollywood, Japan, and Singapore.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 86 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. This is our 3-year anniversary show. Woo! We are, as usual, brought to you in association with MiceChat.com and sponsored by Fairy Godmother Travel and Florida Ticks. Now, for this 3-year anniversary show, I would like to introduce my wife, Tracy.
Hello, lovely listeners.
Unfortunately, Hunter cannot be here today, but he is here in spirit.
He is.
Darren.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
And our very special guest, Skip. Hi, Skip.
Hi. How is everyone?
Good, thank you. And thank you very much for joining us.
Yes.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate it.
Now, we're not going to bring the usual news update because we want to give Skip as much airtime as possible. So, as we have tried to do in every one of our anniversary shows so far, we tried to bring you a very special interview, and this one is exactly along those lines. For those who don't know, we'll give him his full title. This is Skip Sherman. Now, Skip, you played a huge part in the Universal Orlando Resort, actually becoming the Universal Orlando Resort. You were Senior Vice President for Entertainment at Universal Orlando in 1991. So, you know, what's your background and how did that lead into starting in that role?
Well, actually, to keep the record straight,
okay.
I showed up on Universal's doorstep as their director of entertainment.
Oh. And
I had spent the previous 15 years in Nevada, in Las Vegas and Reno.
Oh.
And theme parks were something very new to me. My background is theatrical.
Right.
I showed up to a department that was categorized under operations.
Okay.
And not as an entertainment department. So our first chore was to try and segregate, if you will, entertainment from operations so that the entertainment culture could find itself and evolve and thrive. And so our first 3 months there was to understand what had gone on, why it was in the position it was in, and how we could improve it.
Because the park hadn't been open that long at that point then, had it?
Well, the park had opened in 1990, and it was historically probably, it opened with quite a number of issues, with most every ride. And it was incumbent upon the entertainment and entertainers to carry the day, because they went ahead with their grand opening and very little worked. But as far as an iron ride or a motion-based ride or anything that that needed technology, electricity, or anything else, so good old man-made live entertainment kind of came through and pulled it off for everyone, and it became a problem.
Right.
And so we really wanted to understand how we could better support the entertainment staff, the performers themselves, and set up a good operation based on, in my opinion, what needed to be a theatrical model, quite different to theme parks at the time, and move forward. And so we spent about 3 months in meetings all day long and all night long with performers and technicians, trying to understand what their issues were.
Wow.
So what was the next step from that then, Skip? Obviously, you know, what was your day-to-day role at the park at that point?
It was stopping the incessant desire to run off to another city and do a special event and ignore the day-to-day by most of the management, and to establish the performers as exactly that, entertainment performers, and not just people who showed up, were not on stage at 3 o'clock and were off by 3:30 and had done their show and would do X number of shows a day. End of conversation.
Right.
So we wanted to provide them contracts that they were comfortable with, that took care of their health. Only so many shows in a day for a singer. A dancer could do so many shows. Convened a council of professionals, some from other theme parks, some from theatrical entities, to sit in and review these shows and talk about the criteria and come up with these things along with the performers, and establish a work day and a pay scale and everything so that we could operate independently. So we basically built our business from the ground up. And we suspended all special events until such time as everyone could focus on the operation and get it right.
Sounds good. Sounds sensible.
Well, what else would you do?
Exactly.
And,
Wow.
from there, it just became more and more fun.
Brilliant.
Because we all grew very close, as big as the staff was. And we had about 600 performers and 150 managers, and it was interesting getting to know everyone and what everyone needed and how best to utilize their skills, which ended up being different than where they might have started, and get them into a place where they felt they could have some fun and get along and enjoy themselves, because that's what entertainment should be.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's something we feel there's not. I've said it for a while. It seems to be one of the things that theme parks seem to be taking out a lot at the moment, is that live entertainment. It's coming back a little bit more now, I think.
Yeah, everybody seems to tend to, coasters are the thing of the day. Shows, everybody, doesn't really have the money to spend on shows anymore. They go for the big ticket items.
Yeah.
But it's, as most things in life, it's very cyclical. And it just happens to travel this big giant circle. It will come back to live entertainment again, and it's starting to do so now in a lot of places, especially with the overseas market opening up the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, we spoke to Mike Aiello recently, and I know he's had a lot of influence on the live entertainment at the parks.
Yes.
Stuff he's working on for Diagonally at the moment, and like the Frog Choir and the Spirit Rally over in Hogsmeade, which I absolutely adore.
Yeah, we all adored that, didn't we?
Mike is an amazing guy, a great talent, and somebody I've been very fortunate to know, and we kind of grew up on Halloween together with the Bill and Ted shows. And
Excellent. Sorry. Pardon the pun.
as did many of us.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to Halloween, actually, because I know it's one of our favourite subjects. Where was, obviously, from what you've sent us over today, that was one of your things, was to create events to sort of build up the slower times of year at the parks. Now, if I remember rightly, I think Halloween Horror Nights started out in Hollywood first, didn't it?
Yeah, Hollywood, I think first Halloween was probably in 86. They were kind of off and on, very spotty, had some issues, backed away from it for a long time. And we sort of decided in Florida it was something we wanted to really grab hold of and run with, so we did. Hollywood eventually came back to it late in, it was more like just after the millennium, about 2000, 2002.
Uh-huh.
And they've been in it heart and soul ever since, so it's been a good thing.
Yeah, and it's really amazing the foresight that went into that, because at the time there was nothing like Halloween Horror Nights around. There was no place you could go to, and experience multiple different houses and shows and everything all themed around Halloween. So I think that's really amazing.
Yeah, I would have to give Knott's Berry Farm, or the change to Knott's Scary Farm during the Halloween season. as kudos for coming up with this concept. Although we went and studied it for a long time, we came at it from a very different angle, which we needed to do and have always tried to do. We never wanted to be anybody else. We just wanted to be who we were and establish new and unique, innovative ways of doing things that everybody else had already done. And that was our legacy, if nothing else.
It's one heck of a legacy.
Yeah. Fun?
Well, that's it. I know that event, obviously it's huge now. I think we've just spoken that I think it's over, is it 29 nights this year? And it started off very, very small, didn't it? I think it was only...
91, it was 3 days, one weekend, one haunted house. Was set up in the old Jaws queue line because when the park opened, Jaws didn't work. So they had a free queue line.
And why not use it?
Why not use it?
Exactly.
It went over very, very well. And it was called Fright Nights at the time.
Yeah.
And there was really no staff to support it, and there was no program to put behind it. And it was very new and different for everyone, marketing included. So everybody just kind of jumped on it and made it work, and it did work exceptionally well. So we came back in 1992 with what became the second annual Halloween Horror Nights. But as I say, the first one was called Fright Nights and later renamed Hollywood Horror Nights, and kind of took off from there. So where are we now? Got to be 20-something, I think.
25 years next year.
Yeah, 24 this year. Yeah.
We're actually getting out to see it next year for the first time in 11 years.
It's how I stay young. I don't count years.
I'll have to remember that.
Very wise.
But there's a lot of other events at the parks that I know you've been instrumental in bringing in. What was other than Halloween Horror Nights, when you sat down to discuss, right, we're going to bring some events to the park, was there anything on the table that didn't make it, or?
No. There was one we actually made it, but it was over fairly quickly. It was a disconnect between, it's very important that when you pick an event that it's something someone can easily relate to and gather an expectation of very quickly because they understand it. An example, I could tell you that we're going to do an event around Halloween, and it's going to be called Halloween Horror Nights. And you're going to get that pretty much.
Yeah.
It's going to be scary. It's going to have haunted this. It's going to have, the Halloween. And then I could tell you that we're going to do a parade, and we're going to call it Fandango. And you're going to go, huh? What's that? And therein lies the difference. And how to start your marketing by picking something that people will get from the beginning.
Yeah.
Halloween, Christmas, some of the major holidays that actually do well. I'm not talking about Easter or Mother's Day or Father's Day or those types of things which people tend to latch onto, but the bigger ones, Halloween, Christmas.
Well, that's why, because Mardi Gras is quite an interesting one, because I know a lot of people seem to have an image of Mardi Gras being quite seedy down in New Orleans.
No.
I wouldn't know because Lee's never taken me.
We're a little bit further away from New Orleans, but you hear a lot of scary stories about New Orleans and Mardi Gras. So
what sites do you frequent?
I've just heard that.
When I set up the contract for Universal, the idea was to bring the original Mardi Gras from New Orleans to Universal in Florida. And obviously the concerns were some of these things that you've heard, others have also heard. And it's a family theme park, and, it's a movie studio theme park. What's Mardi Gras got to do with movies? What's Mardi Gras got to do with, a movie studio and Universal in particular? And why would we even have this in our park? Me, I take a very abstract view of life and most things that happen in it. And, sort of explained it away as Mardi Gras is, we are filming a movie. We are filming a television show. This is a scene in that movie, and it utilizes the backlot, and it is all the characters, and the characters are all extras, and our guests are stars, and it's very immersive, which was extremely important, is to make it as immersive as it could possibly be, and we can control, because it is ours and it is in our environment, we can control what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of discussion about, do we serve alcohol, do we not serve alcohol, do we charge a ticket price, do we not charge a ticket price, all of that stuff. And we decided to put it in as a value add. Of course we were going to serve alcohol. We did on a daily basis anyway during the daytime.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it just sort of developed because we allowed the guests to ride the floats. And they would come from all over the country and some from outside the country just to be in the parade and to ride the floats in the parade. Because if there's one place a normal person can feel like an absolute rock star,
Yeah.
is riding on one of those floats and having, 40,000 people yelling and screaming because they want what you got.
Yeah.
I have a new bucket list item now. Mardi Gras at Universal was on it, and now it's, I want to be on a float.
You have to ride the floats, I tell you.
Yeah.
I went to New Orleans and studied Mardi Gras from its inception, how they got into it, what it was before it was what it is. And like most holidays, it was a heathen holiday that the Christians came in and converted. And it is that time, nuts and the rest of it. But to ride a float down there and to go through the process that the crews have of showing up, costuming yourself, dealing with your beads, loading the float, going to a step-off point, going through the parade, which is an all-day ordeal, and then riding into the convention center for the ball that night on the float that you got on that afternoon. And, just people in tuxedos and ball gowns and just standing on chairs and tables, and out of their mind just to grab these beads that are worth, pennies.
Yeah.
At best. I mean, there's some really nice ones, and, they're not much more. Maybe a nickel.
Yeah.
And to try and take that model and apply it in a theme park environment where we could actually get the guests early in the day, assign them, get them to a place in the park at a certain time, get them costumed, get them on a float, get them educated as to how you throw a bead, how you don't throw a bead. You can hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And how to coax people into participating with you as you drive by so that they may have a bead.
Mhm.
And that truly is the fun of Mardi Gras.
It always seems to look like a lot of fun every time, every year. And it's so theatrical as well. And I love that, just the colours and...
Well, the exchange that took place between, the Kern Company, the studios down in New Orleans, they do all the major Mardi Gras parades. And, there are about 50 plus parades every year in New Orleans.
Wow.
And they had a very, I don't know how you say it. It was a very production line sort of way of building their floats, getting their molds done, getting all the artwork on, getting them painted, getting them out where they pulled them, all of that. And we brought it over, and we immediately wanted to start sticking special effects on things. Confetti cannons and gas jets and, all this other stuff that you water and, lighting that would light up the people behind and in between the floats. And we started adding all the stuff to the floats, and they're kind of looking at us like, okay, well, how you do that? And so we're able to teach, and, what we got from them certainly improved the product at Universal, and what they got from us certainly improved Mardi Gras in New Orleans. So it was a great collaborative effort, and continues to be so. I had actually dinner with Barry Kern from Kern Studios 2 nights ago. He and his son came up, And they're dear friends, been dear friends for years. They're like family, and we just love coming up with new ideas and talking about the things that are being done to continue to evolve that presentational standard into something bigger and better.
It does seem to be that the guest response for it every year seems to get better and better. I mean, I know, Darren, you were there at the weekend, weren't you?
Yeah. I've actually been 3 times since it started already this year alone.
Float?
I did not. I requested a month in advance to ride the float during the Weezer show this Saturday, and I did not get on, but I'll keep trying for sure.
Please let me know, and I will do everything I can to make sure that you get on a float.
Oh, awesome. Definitely will do.
Do you know the name of the crew, don't you? The crew,
no, what is that?
It's the crew of Dionysus.
Oh,
and
nice.
We spent a long time trying to find the right name to put on the crew, although I don't think anybody really knows it exists. It's on the title float, actually. But the crew of Dionysus was the Greek god of wine and theater, which always go together well. And we felt like that sort of suited what we were trying to accomplish.
Yeah,
so we
definitely.
Cool.
So I'm assuming, like, you brought the Macy's parade and stuff then to Universal, then.
To that, yeah. When was that? That was probably 2002, I think. We started talking to Macy's, and we needed something in that shoulder period coming into Christmas. Everybody kind of likes to stay home and come out after Christmas. Mm-hmm. So that time period between Thanksgiving and Christmas is always good. With things like Mardi Gras and the Macy's Day Parade, the assets you want to use are all in use because you want the real stuff.
Yeah.
So, we sort of built our schedules around their ability to meet our needs and us to be able to meet our requirements of what we're trying to do. And they were great partners. They truly were in finding the right types of balloons that would fit down the streets and helping train our people on how to deal with the high winds and that sort of thing, and to actually put the parade together in a way that represented their brand well and fit into the park scheme as well. So it's been going on for, I guess, how many years is that? 12 years now?
Wow.
Yep.
Stuff that makes you feel old.
Yeah. I say it's similar to Mardi Gras, isn't it? That you've got that collaboration between the float makers and yourselves, and then obviously, like, the guest, like Darren, you've been a balloon handler before, haven't you?
Yeah, that's one I did get to participate with, and that was awesome. Yeah, it was the year I turned 18, so yeah, we're looking at 12 years ago.
Very, very fine art it is.
It is. Yeah, and going through the San Francisco area and that kind of thing, where they're just like, okay, you just want to pull in, hold as tight as you can, and hopefully it doesn't hit any power lines.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, and me at just turning 18, I was so nervous to begin with it. But you really get a sense of pride, because ever since then, every time I've seen the float since then, it's the toy soldier. That's my float. That's my toy soldier up there.
Well, that's what it's all about. You own it.
Excellent.
Those are those parades. We do other events. Obviously, we went and created a grad bash type of event for graduating seniors. The concerts were a very important part for me to Mardi Gras, and we extended those into a summer concert series, and also went up against Disney with the Christian concerts with our Rock the Universe series, which really just helped both properties tremendously bring in at the same time a huge crowd of it was the number one growing demo in music at the time.
Okay.
For so many years. So it was fun discovering, it was fun innovating, and it was fun bringing it to reality and actually producing it and watching people enjoy it. I often thought I had the greatest job in the world, because every day I got to go to work and I worked in a great big toy box.
Sounds like bliss.
And you could just go into the toy box every day and, pull out whatever you wanted and make it up because the streets were themed already. You didn't have to do a lot scenically.
Wow.
And we, when Islands opened, it was Grinchmas and at Seuss, and, the movie came out, so we were able to work with, the people in the movie and bring a lot of the stuff from the film to the park, and there was a lot of synergy there. And we were able to work with the Universal Music Group at the time to bring in artists that we needed to or wanted to promote specifically. And, it was a very, very different time.
Grinchmas is something Tracy is desperate to see. She's a huge Dr. Seuss fan.
Yes.
It's an amazing show. And the thing that sticks out the most to me is the prosthetics.
Yeah.
Because we had to build a prosthetic shop from zero. When we started our monster show with Beetlejuice, and then we went straight into Halloween, and then we were way behind on everything because Orlando did not have the talent to support the types of things that we were doing. Okay. And so we hired a fellow by the name of Joe Blasco, who was top in the industry in prosthetics, to come in and teach during Halloween. And he eventually came to work for us, and we had started a prosthetic studio here on site. Great. Which also started doing film and television work and is very well known. But getting back to Seuss was the noses on the Whovillians. Yes. And then trying to get them to sing at the same time.
Oh, crikey. Yeah, I never considered that.
Yeah, we spoke to Adrian about it. He said they were quite interesting to wear, those prosthetics.
Oh,
he mentioned having a cold.
Absolutely crazy. I was not sure we were going to be able to pull it off.
Oh, no.
The people that I have been fortunate enough to work with here are the best I've ever seen. And the passion is just like no other. And they just, like a dog on a bone, they get on it and they stay on it until they figure it out and they find the solutions and they bring you tremendous ideas and they work together like nobody else. And the outcome is tremendous. And I've been extremely fortunate to, in the process of building this department and building, the brand, to have worked with and continue to know and have relationships with these people. They are amazing.
Diagon Alley is opening at Universal Studios Florida this summer, and we know all you witches and wizards can't wait to visit. So let our friends at Fairy Godmother Travel deal with the muggles in resort reservations. They are Universal Parks and Resort specialists as well as an authorised Disney vacation planner, and their service is free to you. From the new Cabana Bay Hotel to those other hotels run by a mouse, Fairy Godmother Travel can book all your Orlando area vacation needs. And make sure to let them know you heard about them because of UUOP. Because every UUOP referral helps us continue to bring you the best Universal coverage. Contact them today by phone at 832-284-4002 or toll free at 888-939-642-539. Or alternatively, go to fairygodmothertravel.com. Let Fairy Godmother Travel make your next vacation magical.
Hey all you UK UUOP listeners, if you're heading out to Universal Orlando this year, then you're going to need tickets, right? Then what better place to get them than Florida Tix? They deal in all Universal Orlando tickets, as well as tickets for all the other Central Florida attractions. And the best thing is they're open 7 days a week, have no credit card fees, and send out real tickets, not vouchers. Contact them today at 0800-980-5552 or visit their website at floridatix.co.uk. That's FLORIDATIX.co.uk. And let them know you heard about them on the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
Now I'm going to jump into what I really wanted to talk about, and it's already been kind of mentioned. Skip, when you first started working, obviously there was only Universal Studios Florida there at the time.
Correct.
And then I do believe you were quite a big part of that becoming what it is today with City Walk and Islands of Adventure, where did those conversations come from of wanting to expand it into something more than what it was?
I think it was something that had been always talked about since the building of USF, but it was more of the dream. It didn't really have a time date, a visionary behind it, or anything like that. It was just an idea, second gate. And it started to formulate probably in the mid-90s, 93, 95. And we started to put numbers together on it, and we had to sit down and figure out how many people it would take to operate a park. We sent a team out to Los Angeles, where Universal was headquarters at the time, and worked for about 3 years out there on the different attractions and the makeup of the programming, and then it all came back, and it was a matter of staffing it. But the challenge was that it was a second gate, but as an entertainment department or a food and beverage department or anything else that held a division, you couldn't hire double the staff to do 2 parks.
Right.
And you were kept to 1.5% or less in order to operate both, and that was, as we went into organizational charts and making it all up, what we needed to make it work with budgetarily and just on a day-to-day basis. And then it was, do we split it? Are there heads over both? How does it trickle up and trickle down? And then, how does it open? And in a day's time, gosh, when people walk into City Walk, do they walk into a city? Is there a cop on the street corner who's Mr. Irish Nice Guy? Is there a paper boy who's, selling or hawking, a newsstand on the side? And you go through all this stuff. It's kind of like living a movie.
Yeah.
For some reason, when we all create stuff, we see things in our heads like a movie. And there's close-ups, and there's wide shots, and there's less than 2 people in a shot. But when you actually do it for like real, it's this huge, expansive space, and there's all these people in the way, and it's hard to get anybody's focus down to anything unless you do it in some theatrical way, and control the environment, and again, some theatrical way. So that was good. And, to go backwards a little bit, when I first came, I didn't look for people that had theme park experience to come work with us. I actually went out of my way to find people who did not have theme park experience, but had theatrical experience, because I think that I do believe the world is a stage, and as a stage manager, lighting designer were my majors, but the stage management part of me just kind of comes out, and the world does need a stage manager.
Yes, I agree.
And that's how I set up that organization with a typical theatrical model, and it took a while for people to get used to it and to accept it. And it took a while for Universal to get used to the fact that I insisted on auditioning each performer every single year.
Right.
They had a one-year contract. At the end of their contract, they had to re-audition.
Yeah, I think that's still the same now, isn't it?
It still is.
Yeah.
And but they didn't understand why when nobody else in the company had to re-audition. And it's like, okay, well, apples and oranges.
Right.
And this is what people do. This is our industry, and these are who these people are. And it's a nerve-wracking time. It's a stressful time. It's a time when nobody wants to do these things, but they need to do them, and it makes them better, and it all works out in the end. And that's how you make sure that you have the best entertainment.
Yeah, keeps everybody on their toes.
Yes, nobody gets complacent.
That's right. And So there were tumultuous times to start with. A lot of people had to get used to because I was a very different type of person, and I haven't changed. And they were very supportive, extremely committed, and I couldn't have asked for better partners in trying to make what happened happen. It really was a company-wide collaborative effort that met, obviously, people, naysayers, the NAS. Nah, we can't do that. Nah, we can't do that. And the people that, said, well, go ahead, you can try it, but I can't help you. And over the years, it's just everybody finds the opportunities and they jump on them. And from merchandise to the food that's sold to building new areas in the park to support a larger group of people. Like, how do we grow Halloween? I think I forgot what year it was. We moved it. It might have been around 2002 to Islands of Adventure.
2004.
We need to see it. No,
it was
that was the second year it had been in Islands when we did it.
Right. Yeah, and we had opened it up to both parks.
That was stunning. It was. I'm hoping with my fingers crossed that for the 25th next year, that's what they do again.
Yeah, well, we couldn't get any bigger, and working for a company that didn't know how to stop selling tickets. There is no cap, and having so many people in the park that it was hard to move.
Yeah.
And the lines were so long, and everybody was having such a great time when they were able to, and such a bad time when they weren't. We really needed to figure out a way to expand it. So Islands is such a perfect place.
It was. There was the Lost Continent wasn't lit up. There was just fog machines, and we kind of secreted ourselves to the side, and we could see the scare actors in what they call the all-in-one suits thingies.
A morph suit.
Like a morph suit, black morph suits, lurking in the shadows. We stood and just watched these guys scaring the pants off people. It was brilliant.
Well,
but that was spooky.
You go from a 42-foot wide street, curb to curb, okay, for, I don't know, the size of a football field. So I got a pretty clear vision of what's going on all the way down that road.
Yeah.
And it's hard to scare people, and you kind of have to, you make up the street atmosphere and the scare zones in the street with a lot of stuff that you have to walk around and get around and that sort of stuff. But Islands is just, it's a natural, it gets narrow, it twists, it turns, it's got, objects that block your vision in it. It's such it goes from tropical to medieval to just all kinds of crazy wacky stuff. Very cartoony.
Zeus Landing in the dark with the dry ice about, a very creepy place.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And then to open it up, it gave us the ability to do twice as many people for Halloween, so you could sell twice as many tickets. I know operationally it became quite of a hassle.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but those guys get paid to figure it out.
I suppose probably one of the biggest issues is having to close both the parks early to open it up for Halloween Horror Nights. Yes,
yeah. But we actually did more people in attendance for the nighttime than we did for the daytime.
Wow.
So I can believe it.
Yeah, well, I'd be down for it. I would definitely, like I say, that was the only year we've done it, and it was absolutely amazing.
It was. I'm not a screamy, squealy sort of girl. I ran around screaming my head off. It was so much fun.
I used to call it the best and the greatest date in Orlando.
Yeah. Oh, what a place to have your first date.
Because I would go to Halloween events all over the country, and for some reason or another, I'd be walking through, and I just walk through these things, and there is some group of young teenage girls that just runs up behind me all the time, and they just run up to you and they just grab you and hold you as tight as they can, and just hide behind you.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, okay, we'll get out. It'll be fine. Any guy who had his mind in the right place and wanted, to get to know somebody would ask them to go to Halloween Horror Nights because it would be the great place to talk about anything and everything and just have a good time.
Yeah. I want to do the first date.
Yeah, have it next year when we go to Halloween Horror Nights.
It's kind of a rite of passage.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to taking my children there next year.
Just yours.
Well, ours.
Yes, ours. Thank you.
Our children actually grew up on it when I moved
Wonderful.
here. My son was 5 and my daughter was 3, and I can actually tell you that my daughter is a freak about it. She just loves Halloween, and she has actually worked Halloween for about 5 years now. She's now 26, and she has run the haunted houses and been in charge of the characters and does a casting for the parts. And it's been interesting to watch her grow up with it, because I used to take them to the haunted houses when we were building them, and I'd say, okay, well, this is going to happen here, and this is going to happen here.
Brilliant.
This is going to happen here. But, walking through in the daytime with the lights on and then turning it all off and turning the music on and getting all the special effects going, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. They wouldn't even walk down the street with me.
Yeah.
But it's fun now to look back.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So going back on Islands of Adventure, Skip, when you set out to build that park, what concepts were thrown around for it? Like we said, right, we're going to build a second park. What themes are going to be?
Well, Jurassic Park was a no-brainer, because the movies had just come out. Marvel was a huge. We went to New York several times and talked to the Marvel people, and really worked hard to put a deal together with them to make that land viable there, and we're able to do that. Seuss was a great synergistic endeavor where he really embraced it once it was sold. The concept was sold to him. It's very rigid what can and cannot be done in there. But even, things like that, we had guys, our landscape guy, I'll never forget sitting in a meeting talking about Seuss, and we were putting it together, and we had just had which hurricane was that? I want to say Andrew, that had happened in southern Florida.
Uh-huh.
And the palm trees had all been blown so wickedly. And we had the opportunity to go down there and buy them, because they were of such shape and form that they just suit the whole Seuss visual, what I mean?
Oh, wow.
And so we bought them years in advance and stuck them off in a nursery and just held on to them and kept them alive until we could actually put them in the park once it was being built.
Cool.
Brilliant.
So there was a lot of terrific planning on a lot of people's parts. Once we knew what we were going to build, the Lost Continent was basically that. I mean, it was something that was made up. Not being able to find something else to fit in there well enough, but it became Harry Potter.
I love the Lost Continent. I actually think it's one of the most underrated lands in Islands of Adventure, and it's quite disappointing to see. And I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, but it still saddens me a little bit to see it get eaten up by Mr. Potter.
We were able to do so much in the Lost Continent because it was so eclectic, I guess.
Yeah.
You could put so much in there and have such a good time with it.
Yeah. I am a huge fan of the Talking Fountain.
Yes.
We have great fun, not telling our children on their first visit what's going to happen. We just sit there, nonchalant, with a drink. Oh, go and see what's going on with the fountain, we said. Set them up.
That was a great, innovative, static piece of entertainment, actually.
Yeah.
To be able to sit in there and to have the video connection and to be able to talk to people and interact with people with so many different types of effects,
yeah,
which they did not expect.
I've got to say, that is a job I would like to do.
Yeah. took a lot of work to bugs out. It works very well.
It's one thing we've spoke about on the podcast quite a lot, that if Potter does end up swallowing the whole of the Lost Continent, we'd be very disappointed if they don't at least re-theme it.
He would still work very well.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, there's some things why would you get rid of it?
Exactly.
It's the chances of finding something that works as well are too great to take that risk.
Yeah.
You'll know when you find it, and you'll know when you think of it, and you'll go, oh no, gotta go. We got to do this instead. But that doesn't happen every day.
No. Although he could be moved to the port of entry.
We did say that, didn't we? It would fit quite well in port of entry.
I'm determined that he's never ever leaving. And if not, he can come to our yard if he needs somewhere to live.
For the cost involved to move it from point A to point B, it might as well be left.
Yes.
It works just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, part of entry's an area that's very similar to the Lost Continent. I think it's also one of those areas that a lot of people pass through and don't really take much notice of.
Which drives me mad.
Right. There is a lot there.
There is.
Oh, yeah. So many cool little things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which,
the cats, the jail cell.
Yeah, the lovebirds around the corner.
You just got to look up. Yep.
Yeah. And it drives me mad when you see these people just barreling through, and I just want to stop them and say, just take it in. Listen. Look.
Well, listen. That's the big one. It's even.
Yeah.
We had Bill Kidd on the show actually last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely.
And he was telling us about the music for Port of Entry, and it's one of those things that until you know how it's all set up, that it's all separate pieces of music, but it all blends together. So if you stood on the cusp of one piece and another, it sounds like one coherent piece of music rather than different. It's just I love.
Exactly. Yeah, no, he and I worked on the music for the Lagoon show when we produced it on the Lagoon in Iowa. And an amazing talent. We went off in the woods in the Sierras with a grand piano high in the hills, and came up with a medley or melody, and he kind of took it from there. But we didn't actually get it finished until we were on the plane flying to London, because we recorded it all at the Apple Studios there with the London Philharmonic, and he was frantically Billy. He's so frantic.
He said it was a very interesting time in his life.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
He did such a wonderful job. He taught me so much, and it came off so well. And the show was, I have used it as a template for every fireworks show I've done on the lagoons. I did another one in Singapore when I was over there for the park. And it's like I always sit down and try to describe it to the CEOs and the chairmen of these particular properties as it's a highly visual and audible, like ballet in the sky. And it's usually 4 to 5 scenes, and they transpire from, telling of a story. Boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, boy has to go fight evil, evil almost wins, boy wins over evil, returns home, exaltation in the kingdom, and it's a celebration. And all this happens in the course of the show. And the music is what drives you emotionally, and the visual in the sky is what paints, because I spent a lot of year with ballet companies, production management ballet companies. And it was just the similarities were so close that we were able to do some really fun stuff. Even with we went off to Vietnam in 1999 to find a factory that would build the product that we wanted, because we designed it specifically for close proximity, because Universal is very small and you can't shoot big fireworks. But we wanted to look like big fireworks. So to scale, they looked very large. But when you stood there and watched them, you were very, very close. So it was a very different experience. I always, as a child, hated being so far away from the fireworks. I wanted to be as close as I could be, but I wanted them to be as big as they could be.
Yeah.
and so we were able to accomplish some really cool things with some of these lagoon shows and the fireworks that were done, and they're still in place today. So it's, and Disney is also using the same Factory 21 over just outside Hanoi.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, there's been rumours going around for the last couple of years that they're going to bring something to Islands of Adventure, and I think it's such a big area, that lagoon, to not have something in there now.
Oh, it's so hard. So you really got to get whatever you're doing up in the air.
Yeah.
Because the lagoon sits so low.
Right.
Everywhere in the park, and it's hard to get to in some places in the park. It's hard to find the lagoon. So there's only a certain amount of places that you can gather large groups of people.
That's quite true.
So you want to be able to do it in such a way that everybody can enjoy it. So you got to get it up in the air. And fireworks appeal to anyone from, 3 years old to 102 years old. So usually the best call.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I'm not quite sure how the Sneetches would take to having the beach disturbed anyway. So.
I know you're a very busy man, so we're going to stop it there, but we'd love to have you on again at some point, because I feel there's so much more we could delve into.
You could go on forever.
I'm sure we could.
We certainly could.
Stuff.
And it only gets more interesting.
Ooh.
Oh, to be continued.
Well, we should call this the warm-up.
Yes.
This was the overview. Next time we'll dig into the dirt.
But it is because of a tremendous cachet of talent and passion that the people themselves brought to their jobs and the things that they love to do. And to be able to harness all of that and protect it in a corporate environment and make sure that it could perform to its best was fascinating, and I just enjoyed it so much.
And I think the fact that most of it's still there at the parks now is testament to what you've done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a testament to their talent, for sure.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So I was just going to say, for just a little thing that I've been thinking about. Every day I try to make at least one person smile. And if I do, the feeling that I've made somebody else happy in some way is really great. And I just can't imagine how it must be to be part of something that you're making thousands of people smile every day. What a feeling that must be.
It is a great feeling. And yeah, I do that when I go to the grocery store.
Fantastic.
I have a very odd perspective that takes people a little by surprise. So it's fun to talk to folks, and it's always fun to make them smile, and it's always fun to make them see things in a new way and enjoy it in a new way and leave going, oh my God, we got to tell everybody else about this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's what you want, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
It is.
So I just want to say thanks so much for joining us on the show, Skip. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Really has.
Well, my pleasure. There's nothing I love talking more about than the things that we've been able to accomplish here and showing it off. And everybody should try to get down here and enjoy all of these things.
We agree. Yes, we're doing our best to get that word out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for episode 86. So don't forget, join us back here next week for episode 87. So for Skip, Tracy and Darren, I'm Lee, and this has been the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
That does it for another unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Between shows, we'd love for you to get in touch. So email us with your spews, funny schmitz, comments, questions, and news to podcast@uuopodcast.com. Keep up with what's going on every day by following us on Twitter @UUOPodcast and follow Eric in the Parks @UUOPEric. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/UUOPodcast. Follow us on Instagram and Pinterest @UUOPodcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/UUOPodcast. And don't miss a show by subscribing to us on iTunes, and please leave us a review. Not an Apple user? Then head over to uuopodcast.libsyn.com and subscribe to the feed while you're there. You can also find us on Stitcher Radio and at micepod.com. Come find us on our partner site, micechat.com, join the forums, and say hello. So thanks for listening, and remember, be adventurous.
This has been a MicePod.com presentation.
Mice Chat.